Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and today, my friends, we're back with a showdown between the Empire and the Greenskins. It's going to be Boris Todbringer facing off against Azag, and guys, your eyes do not deceive you. It is indeed the dreaded steam tank. Super excited. And honestly, it was actually okay against Greenskins in Warhammer 2 land battle. You'd often see a box with like Volkmar and a steam tank, and they just wait for the Greenskins to get chain terror routes and all that kind of stuff, but obviously in Domination it's going to be a little bit trickier since blob fights aren't quite as common. You'd think they would be because of the objectives and just kind of fighting on a point, but obviously there's 3 of them, so the battle is often spread out a little bit. Now, I always find this funny as well. Azag's a threat like no other, and it kind of like talks about him a little bit there, but what they forget to mention is that Azag still can't bring his damn items up on his Wyvern. So when you put him on the Griffin, or excuse me, the Wyvern, which is one of his better choices, obviously, foot Azag isn't that good, he loses access to his items, which is really silly, so hopefully CA eventually fixes that. But for the build of the Empire, it's going to be a man-tied build. So we just have a bunch of spearmen, a couple halberdiers in the back. Obviously, if you're investing in a giant steam tank and a Griffin Lord, the rest of your army is going to be a little bit lower quality. And yeah, the steam tank does what it does. It causes terror and it can bombard, relatively high value units. If your opponent comes in with like Biggins or Boar Boys, you just want to shoot those. Right Wizard for Burning Head, really good for clearing out the hordes of orcs. Now for the Great Hadries on the other side, it's going to be double Black Orc, which does give the steam tank some pretty viable targets. Orc Boys on the other side, the Hammer of Gork. It looks like we have some more Squig herds, and in the tree line, it is going to be nasty Skulkers waiting to ambush up on that point, which I like quite a bit. If a State Trooper goes over there or something, or even some heavy cavalry if they get the good smoke bomb timings with the smoke bomb and what is this ability? Yes, Opportunist Murderers here. But if they get the smoke bomb going, they can slow it on the heavy cav, and with their armor piercing, they can do pretty well. So that's pretty much it. We'll do a little bit of fast forwarding while the 2 players posture and move their armies up. It looks like the Empire is going to be going for Objective 1, probably will be pushing on over to Objective 2 after that, maybe either going through the high ground and fighting at a choke point with their terror routes, other stuff like that. So Toddy is a really good choice against low leadership factions. He does have the Blood Roar, which of course Karl Franz has as well, but he does also have another item, which I believe lowers leadership. It looks like he didn't bring that, so he just has the Blood Roar, but even still, he regenerates and allows you to bring another caster. If you bring Franz, he can be focus fired and isn't the tankiest lord in the world, so you have to bring a life caster, and again, that makes it so you can't really bring like big AoE spells outside of Dwellers Below, which is very expensive, and Burning Head is arguably probably better against Greenskins anyways, because it's a little bit cheaper and it can clear out the infantry very efficiently due to their light armor. So once again, the battle is being staged here. On the far side, the objective will be opening up, so I would wager a State Trooper is going to be jumping over there, and yes, it looks like there is a halberd on his way over to that point. And the Empire is going to be pushing up here with some Empire Knights. They do actually catch some Morgrim's Mangy Marauders in the tree line and are able to drag down a couple models. Looks like in total, wow, yeah, like 25 plus models taken down by that charge. That's not a bad little start, but yes, the steam tank is pretty much the only thing we're going to be paying attention to this game. I mean, how could you not? And the Greenskins actually didn't bring Spirit Leech, so they're going to have to take it down the old-fashioned way. Azag is a good choice against the Empire because he can actually, kill characters like Volkmar. That's why you often saw him in Warhammer 2. He could fight Volkmar, he can go after steam tanks. He's just a good duelist character in general, right? High melee attack, really good weapon strength, good charge bonus, what's not to love. Not the tankiest though, I guess he's got 6.7 and wow, why does he have so much more HP? Well, I guess, orc units don't have access to healing, so they should have a little bit higher HP than some other factions, right? They should be a little bit more stalwart, but the tank is moving in, man. Looks like he was going to take a pot shot at the Black Orcs, but is going to be pulling back here. Hadries has a very, very nice stranglehold on the 2 objectives, and the Empire is just kind of slow pushing here with some Free Company Militia and their pistols, trying to get a little bit of DAC into the Night Goblins, also shooting at Azag up in the sky, and looks like they do maybe 50 to 100 damage. Now, big flank coming around. We do see the Orc Boar Boy Biggins, but honestly, with the Man-Tide, there's not going to be great targets for them. They're really good against Empire Heavy Cav, and that's actually one aspect of the matchup that, you wouldn't expect. The Greenskins actually typically do very well in the cavalry fight. The Orc Boar Boys have armor and anti-large, and they typically dominate Empire Knights, Knights of the Blazing Sun, Reichsguard, things like that. So Squigs do get into the front line. The poor State Troopers of Sigmar going to be getting feasted on, and the response from the Empire is going to be some big Burning Head action that just tears through those guys. Brutal cast right there. Just eviscerates the ROR Night Goblins, but not before Azag comes in and does push back the Free Company Militia. Now, the steam tank is tar pitting the Black Orcs, and it is okay in melee. It's kind of like a bit of a ram piece. And what the hell did that Burning Head do? You guys see that? The Burning Head like bounced off the wall here and came up into this formation. That's some crazy shit. Now, it looks like, is that going to be a Buna coming down from Azag? Okay, we have the Cackling Laughter. Okay, it was on the Sterling's Revenge, which is a very good choice. They're an 800 gold unit, and they're pretty expensive, so taking them out is going to be a good idea. So Steam Tank here, still fighting and holding it down with its unbreakable status. Boris Todbringer trying to break the leadership of the Black Orcs with the Blood Roar, but they're holding pretty firm. Orc Boar Boys, as well as Nasty Skulkers of Hadries, are going to be piling in. Meanwhile, the Man-Tide just kind of bolstering down on Objective 1, but, Hadries does have pretty full control over the other 2 objectives. The Empire is actually making a little bit of progress here here, we do see the Empire Knights coming in to reinforce, and Empire Knights will counter squigs very effectively, and grenade launchers have also moved in as well here from FPOD. So grenade launchers are excellent against most of the Greenskin units. They will struggle against things like, you know, trolls and big armored targets, but generally at clearing out skulkers, orc boys, goblins, and even against blackworks. Grenades don't have the craziest armor piercing, but they can do pretty well. So it looks like the Empire Heavy Cavalry helping to stabilize this position. Grenade launchers going to be turning about face, and they will be nuking these goblins most likely into the Shadow Realm, although the Mantide will get in there. And swordsmen do defeat nasty skulkers in combat, actually, so not a bad fight for the Empire. Big heavy cavalry coming in, the Broken Tusk mob, trying to intercept the grenade launchers. What is the Empire response going to be? They do, of course, have some spearmen and some halberdiers coming up from reserve, but it looks like some of the grenade launchers are actually going to be caught by the squealing pigs here, as they do get that charge. And the grenade launchers do take some casualties. Smoke bomb going down, going to be slowing down state troopers, but shouldn't be too impactful, as the Empire Knights do maneuver from the crossface here, and they do move in and charge the big pigs. But the Wa is going to be going down from the Greenskins. Greenskins are only down by about 1,000 value, so not a huge deal. But Toddy and company are holding back the Black Orcs in the past. We do have some more grenade launchers here. Very, very comfortable positioning for them, as they can shoot up and over that rock face, while the steam tank is just there kind of, blockading them and doing, pretty steady DPS actually with its melee capabilities. So again, value trading is relatively even. The Greenskins are kind of closing the gap a little bit. It's a sub 1,000 lead right now. The Empire does have healing on Toddy though, so depending on how much damage he's taken, that can be mitigated. And the steam tank able to drive back the Black Orcs, so the Black Orcs are going to be on the run as Toddy continues to hunt those bad boys down. And the steam tank here is simply going to be chain terror routing a lot of these Greenskin units, that's for sure. Buna going down to the grenade launchers, and grenade launchers are not a cheap unit, so Buna is actually, I think, worth using on them. You often see people use it against like Vampire Coast on their Salt Lord Scuttlers and their Bat Bombers, so I do think that that is not a bad choice at all, because they're one of the few things that can just plow your Greenskin infantry, right? Boar Boys versus Empire Knights. More Boar Boys coming in. Going to be a very dominant fight for the Greenskins here, as they got their skewering sticks, and they are going to be moving in, doing some big damage. Black Orcs chewing through these state troopers. These guys having a really, really bad time. Talk about a mismatch. Their tiny little swords not going to be able to do much against the 110 armor of the Black Orcs, and it's only a matter of time before they continue pushing through, especially with Azag. He's going to get a big terror rout on these guys, and that's going to be a problem. So the Empire is falling behind on points, but they are maintaining their value lead. It looks like there's going to be a big surge. Oh, that could be a super good burning head. We'll have to see the angle it takes. So great damage there on those Orc Boys, and it does go right through the other Orc Boys and does some really substantial damage, giving the Mantide a fighting chance here, right? Sterling's Revenge shooting. Spearmen might actually be able to win against those Orc Boys with a little bit of support now. We see the steam cannon from the tank actually shooting a shot over here, and this is why Boris is so good. He's an excellent sweeper. Karl Franz can do the same thing. Franz is a little bit of a better assassin character. Boris is more of like, I'm going to terror route these positions and just be like durable and last until the late game type character, right? Overall, Free Company Militia holding. The Orcs completely folded like a piece of paper on this front. We do see Snotling Pump Wagons coming in from Hadries. They do have some armor piercing, and I've seen them actually do well against single targets. And it looks like Azag is going to be going after Toddy, which is a little bit of a mistake. I don't think you're going to make too much progress there. Toddy can probably honestly turn around and fight you, and he has a little bit of halberd support nearby. In the middle, looks like Greenskins are still holding. Their Black Orcs are quite problematic as they grind through the spears, but grenades coming from the side here are slowly able to kind of wear those guys down. More Empire Knights versus Orc Boar Boys, but it looks like the Empire Knights do have a numerical advantage as they sandwich in from both sides for Sigmar, and I believe they're fighting under a Sigmar statue. So that probably is an aura that should give Unbreakable to all these troops, but alas, I'll have to talk to the map maker and see if we can make that happen. On the other side, we do see Free Company Militia coming out. A little bit of an ambush. Free Company should dominate nasty skulkers if they can discover them before the skulkers get on top of them. It really depends on how that goes. Halberdiers, though, are also saturated in, which is a big problem. Halberdiers will basically hard counter all these Greenskin Cav units. The Squigs will get wrecked, the Orc War Boys will get wrecked, and all for 550 gold for the Empire, right? So extremely favorable trading for the Empire in the middle. And I think on the far side, it's actually going pretty well for them, too. You can see here Toddy and Boris have been kind of going at it. Empire Knights will be able to probably deal with Pump Wagons. Pump Wagons do have a decent amount of armor, but overall, Spears and Empire Knights will counter them. And you can see Azag not trading super effectively in the duel against Toddy. Toddy also does lower the leadership of all these units, so you do see that the Orc War Boys and the Skulkers, as soon as they get close, their leadership's going to be tanking, right? And if you bring that in tandem with the Burning Heads, suddenly it's like, oh my god, that's a huge leadership debuff. So there comes the Smoke Bomb, going to be slowing down some Empire troops, but Terror Rout's going down to the Pump Wagons as more Halberdiers come up. Boris Todbringer really anchoring that position as the Imperial Steam Tank, the Armored Division, moving up and routing the Greenskins off the point. And that's actually really nice for the Empire. The Empire isn't really a faction that's known for its like terror routes, but having an extra source of terror in matchups against like I think Beastmen and Greenskins actually can be pretty good, right? Volkmar the Grim and Steam Tank, like I said, was very, I wouldn't say meta, but it was a niche thing that you would often see in tournaments against the Greenskins, and you're kind of seeing a bit of a variation of that with Todbringer and the Steam Tank here. So that objective flips, and currently looking at the value, we do see the value lead is going to be favoring the Empire pretty substantially. And of course, Toddbringer's healing is going to be factored in. This is going to be really, really tough for Hadrius to get this one back. We do also see F-Pod on the other side getting his Free Company Militia, but the Skulkers do get the ambush and some Spider Riders come in from Hadrius, which is a good choice. And the Free Company Militia probably shouldn't turn their backs and run. Many of them are going to be shanked here, although I think they're running to some reinforcements. I saw something in the tree line from the Empire. Okay, just some Spearmen with shields. Maybe they're going to pull back, try and lure the Skulkers into an overextension, summon some Empire Knights, and try and ride them down. We'll have to see how that all unfolds. But the middle is just rock hard in Sigmar's favor. Grenades are now really in good position, nothing really pressuring them, getting huge explosive salvos into the nasty Skulkers, as well as some of the Orc boys here. And Boris Todbringer on the far side, able to really screen out those Morgrim's Magi Marauders. So they're having a pretty bad time here, as Toddy will be able to break off a 600 gold unit, which is a really nice armor-piercing piece. And again, a good Buna usage from Hadrius as he does move in and go after the Outriders with grenade launchers here. So they are going to be paying the iron price. Their leadership's tanking, and your boy Azag will be moving across. And the Greenskins are a little bit resurgent here, but getting crushed pretty badly in the middle. Empire could start to send some units over here. It looks like the steam tank is on its way over. If you guys see the glorious Sigmarite engineering, it is, pumping those wheels and trying to get over here to help. The two sources of terror, those two big tanks, Toddy and of course the steam tank, are going to be very tough to deal with. The steam tank could also start shooting Azag, but it looks like Toddy's a little bit surrounded. Azag probably applying poison. You see, yes, his stats are down to 383. Of course, he has the wounds going as well. So there are a couple things that are really nerfing the stats of Toddy as he does try and escape this engagement here. Demogryph Knights with halberds, man. Coming in, anti-large, armor-piercing. I mean, that will counter the pump wagons. Honestly, nothing here is going to be really good against them. Maybe the best thing would be the nasty Skulkers, and I don't know really how good Buna is against the demis. I have to do a little bit of testing on that, but overall, Buna just was used, right? So you're not going to be seeing Buna anytime soon. It's a really expensive spell, so it's probably, when's Magic, I would imagine, are very tight. So Demogryph Knights moving out this way. It looks like there's going to be a Burning Head coming down, which will hit those Orc boys. Toddy is reaching his healing cap, and on the middle, we do see the Empire holding onto the objective pretty well with multiple halberds. Greenskins, though, and Hadrius able to secure the far side point, so they are holding on to this one. Currently, Hadrius does have the point lead, but the Empire would win with 2 objectives if they just manage to hold on to them. But if they lose an objective for like a minute or two, it could totally flip the other way. Now here we do see Azag the Slaughterer going to be pulling up in the skies. The Free Company Militia just kind of shooting some pot shots there. Greenskins with a bit of a mass route into the forest. Nasty Skulkers and Pump Wagons are on their way out. Empire Knights and Demogryphs very much healthy. As we see the full health unit of Demogryphs, I don't know how they took some damage. It looks like they might have actually gotten popped by the nasty Skulkers, or the Morgrim's Magi Marauders when they chase them down. But yeah, should be able to wreck these Pump Wagons. Pump Wagons going to be taken down by these glorious Sigmarite Griffins. As a matter of fact, after this game, I'm going to go paint a couple of these in my little hobby room I have. But Demogryph Knights chasing him down. Other Pump Wagons going to get karate chopped by the halberds. And over here, Todbringer are going to be moving back to the middle. And one of the things that Greenskins are really good at is surprising objectives. They're really quick. They have fast units that really hit relatively hard. So they can really get onto objective and snake it from you pretty quickly if you're not amply defending all of your different points. Demi should be able to lock this one down. There are a lot of Empire units from F-Pod that he should probably consolidate on an objective and or unsummon. But I think at this point, just keeping him on the point is going to be a little bit more valuable since the game's very tight. And Hadrius might be able to flip this back, guys. He is down pretty heavily in value, but he is getting a lot of units on the objective, including Warlord's Boys, who will trade very well into halberds. He does also get the Death Creepers creeping around. And the objective looks like it's going to be flipping for the Greenskins. We see the Free Company Militia coming in, but will the Steam Tank be able to rout these guys off? These are the Unbreakable Goblins, so they're going to be immune to the terror routes, which is very strong. Orc War Boys could get terror routed off, but looks like the Free Company Militia are going to get sandwiched, and Hadrius might be able to steal the objective, ladies and gentlemen. Ever the scrappy player here is Sigmar's Sons, and Sterling's Revenge do make their way in. Are they going to get there in time to save the objective from being flipped? If they do, that could seal the doom for Hadrius. It would be very tough for him, but it looks like Hadrius is, oh man, this objective is so heavily contested right now. Azag's going to be trying to run away. It looks like the halberds are holding. The terror route's going down. Is going to give the capture weight back to the Sigmarites. And the Sigmar Sons do make it up on the objective, which is going to be sealing the doom for the Greenskins on this point. And Hadrius, does he have anything going on the side objective? I don't think so. It looks like the Empire pulled most of their units. This one's actually a little bit vulnerable right now. You could probably reroute these nasty Skulkers over to the side point, maybe pull some of these Morgrim's Magi Marauders there and try and snake that one. But it looks like he's going to go all in on the middle. But Azag is getting last samurai by the Sterling's Revenge. The Free Company Militia got their pistols out for Sigmar, and or Ulrich. I guess they're with Boris Todbringer. But, Ulrich's all about Sigmar, too, I suppose. Well, wasn't Ulrich the god that Sigmar actually was, all about in the beginning? I don't really know. You guys have to kind of clarify, some of you lore fanatics there. And looks like Azag is going to be fleeing the scene, being chased down. With that, I think that spells doom for the Greenskins. I honestly don't see too many avenues of coming back here. Hadri's does have a little bit of a presence on the battlefield via these nasty skulkers, but overall, the Empire, Toddbringer's just going to move around like a hammer and just kind of, play whack-a-mole, essentially. With any Greenskin units that come out, he's going to buckle them. And Azag isn't around to make a difference anymore. He was pretty useful this game, though. Units were good, but Hadri's, of course, being the seasoned veteran, knows the game is over. F-Pod with the Steam Tank victory. Well played, man. I love seeing a Steam Tank game. And, yeah, honestly, if there are matchups in which they're viable, I would say Norska they're pretty good against because they can sit, they can terror route, and they can blast Marauder Horsemen, and against Greenskins. Those would be the two matchups that I would say, as someone, myself, I main Empire, have been the only matchups where I've really had a lot of success. And against Beastmen occasionally, but, it's a little bit scary there because Torox can come in and kind of hammer it and all that. So, GG, well played, guys. Here are the armies in their full glory. Looking at Azag, he was able to get 3,200 value, man. Those Bunas on the grenade launchers, he really tried to carry that game. But the rest of the Greenskin army didn't seem to really do too much. Black Orcs being held to 700 value. Steam Tank only 1,000, but it's not about that. It's about the terror routes. I think the Burning Heads really clutched it for F-Pod this game. Those Burning Heads were so metal and did so much damage to so many of the Greenskin shaft pieces. GG, well played. See you guys next time. And thanks again to these two gentlemen for sending in the replay.